Hi, I'm Maggie,
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is
a very bookish podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to a Very Bookish podcast. On today's episode 34, we have a very special guest, a reoccurring guest, Eamonn from Eamonn's Books on TikTok.
Yes. Hi, I am Eamonn from Eamonn's Books on literally every platform there is. I'm so excited to be here. I think this is my third episode now.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about Neon Gods, everything Neon Gods, and I am head over heels obsessed with that book. So I really cannot wait to get into this. Like I am so ready because I'm jittery.
Ew. Well, we know you are.
Hold on. That was like the best intro, like self-intro ever, because like literally you were just like, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do today. This is what's going down. You wait
used to it.
tune in. Like literally, like you're already used to it. You're practically a co-host, okay?
No, literally, I've seen every episode. Like I know I did my homework.
I love that. That was perfect.
So we know that you have a love for Neon Gods, but what is your current read that you are loving right now?
Right now, I'm like flip-flopping between like a bunch of books. Like I read the first few chapters of Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I don't know if I'm gonna continue that, but it's not really my priority at the moment. And I started what's it called? The Swipe Right by Alicia Ray last night. I read the first chapter and it's really intriguing. I really like it. It's like third person point of view, so it's like the author's telling the story, you know what I mean? And I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't know how I'd feel about it, but it's actually, I think it's like the best way to tell this type of story. It's contemporary romance. I don't know too much about it. Usually I go into books without reading the descriptions or whatever, but it is like sort of like a Tinder type of romance and whatever. I'm pretty sure both of the characters are POCs. I really like that. And we were just talking about this right before the podcast, but I think Grace and Maggie have convinced me that I need to drop everything and read what's Twisted Love immediately. So that will be a priority read at the moment.
So for our audio listeners, I'm actually holding up the book, and I guess this is the perfect segue into telling you our next week's guest is going to be Anna, the author of Twisted Love. So if you're not already, catch up so you can listen to the podcast, because we will have, it's going to be a full spoiler podcast when we're talking about this book, talking about the series and stuff. We're excited. I'm so excited. I just pre-ordered Twisted Games, the second book, right as Eamon was talking. So it's going to be pretty great. Grace, what are you currently reading?
So I have been fortunate enough to receive an arc from Anna's team for Twisted Games, which is the sequel, and it's going to be released at the end of this month. So I'm really, really enjoying it. I finished Twisted Love maybe around 11:58. So I still count it as a read from yesterday. I finished it literally 2 minutes before midnight, and I was so in love. And both books are interconnected, so you definitely want to read the first one before you read the second one. I love the writing style. It's a dual POV. You get these amazing guys who are broody and very grumpy sunshines, where they try to act all tough, but they know that the girl is like warming them up. It's definitely a grumpy sunshine kind of vibe. The second book is a bodyguard romance, so we have that, and it's pretty dope. I highly recommend it. It's such a good read. um the main character for Twisted Love is Chinese American, and that was really interesting, and I really liked it, and I liked how she like sprinkled in a little bit of her culture into it. It was nice and subtle in a way that it just felt
It
right.
wasn't like, it wasn't forced. It wasn't like, oh, this
Right.
is like the whole thing. It was like, yeah, she's Chinese American, but that's not the point. It's the story that's the point, and it affects the story in certain ways, which I'm not going to spoil. But
Oh,
also, Alex is
oh, Alex.
Ukrainian representation. I was so happy when he started talking in Russian. He's like Ukraine, and they were talking about Kiev. And I was like, oh, I think in my Goodreads update, I literally have I like put like a bunch of Ukrainian flags, and then I put represent.
love
So
that.
great. It was
Can we just talk about that for a second? Like, I love, like, I don't get a lot of that sort of like representation where like I can recognize like my language in like a book because they speak Urdu, but I understand a little bit of Arabic, and when I like read words that like are from that dialect, it's like, oh my gosh, that's home. That's like an Easter egg. It's just so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
It's literally like it makes you feel almost excited, like it's a little
Yeah. It's
it's
like
like
the author's communicating with you. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
and it's like a little secret, like a what do you call that? Like a inside joke almost.
No, really. Yeah.
Like that's how it feels. And it feels like so good and it's like so easy, but then it's also it can be taken both ways. Like if the author doesn't do their like proper research, you get like a totally
Right.
wrong translation or you get like a perfect translation. And that's why
Yes.
that was pretty cool doing any of the past two books that I've been reading have like another language sprinkled in, and it's always that little extra that just makes it better. It's
No,
amazing.
you're exactly right. Yeah, it's just I love reading stuff like that. And like, unless there's like a glossary at the back of the book, like the average reader might not get it, but like the one that does, especially if the author is of like that representation of the language that's being represented in the book, is just I love it. My heart is just like flutters.
It literally does. And then like if it sucks because if there's no represent like translation in the back, you you better have that Google Translate on deck.
Yeah, you bet. Literally, yeah.
And then like what was really funny is like one time I was reading a book and it had like a Russian like phrase, and I literally text Maggie. I was like, hey, what does this mean?
And how do you say it? And I literally had like on like the voice, you know how I always send like voice memos and stuff? I had my dad
Yeah.
say it to, like we were saying it over and over again for her.
Yeah.
It was kind of
That's gonna be me when I read Twisted Love. I'm just gonna be texting Maggie the entire time.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not too much, but it's
It's
there's
it's a
it's a
sprinkle.
sprinkle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Love that.
So that is an update on us and what we're reading. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into Neon God. So if you haven't read the book yet, make sure that you go read it, and
Wait,
then
do we want to do our special update first before we get into Neon Gods? So those who haven't read Neon Gods can leave after they listen to this special update.
okay, we can do our update now.
Because like I don't know,
Yeah.
some people might not hear about it if they leave now.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Let's do it.
Oh, Maggie's
Go
always
for it.
I'm always
Rumble.
thinking ahead. I
Drum.
was like, I gotta plan my segue into this special topic that we're gonna talk about.
I'm
So,
like go with the flow. Like whatever happens, just happens.
so we have been talking about this all summer long. It has literally been since like March. We've been
I think even
April.
before that.
Because I remember in finance, we sat and I talked about it with you in finance. But so we have finally made our pins. We are
Yay!
so excited. Grace and I have been working tirelessly this week. We spent hours on colors, looking at colors, designing, packaging, getting everything ready for our shop. And so our shop is going to be called A Very Bookish Shop. It is kind of a play on our podcast, A Very Bookish Podcast. We have our book club, which is A Very Bookish Group. So it's kind of like our theme is like a very bookish something. And so this time we have A Very Bookish Shop. We have A Very Bookish Shop Instagram page, which when this episode goes live, we also have a sneak peek on our page. So if you can see it, there's like a tiny tag to our shop Instagram. So if you see it, make sure you go follow us. We don't have our profiles like non-existent right now because it's kind of low key, but we will be announcing our pins on there Saturday, and pre-orders.
We'll have we are going to be releasing two different pins from two different fandoms that we have talked about on the podcast. A little inside joke, if you listened very, very early on during Kate at Nautical Reads episode, So this has been a long time coming. So we have 2 separate pens that you can pre-order, and the pre-orders will go up on Monday, and you'll be able to see the enamel pens on Saturday via our Instagram for the shop. And
And they will be sold separately, or you can buy them in a set because they will kind of coincide together, and you may or might not be able to push them together and certain things line up. Um, Eamon has already seen the designs.
Yes, and I absolutely love them.
We also will be having a pre-order incentive when it comes to these. So I don't know if a lot of you have already known this, but Grace had her own sticker shop for a while. And so she has a bunch of leftover stock. And so I don't know if for our YouTube listeners, they get a sneak peek at some of the stickers that she's about to show.
yeah, so we have a bunch of different little ones. I was all over the place with the type of stickers that I have. So I have a lot of snack ones because if you know me, you know I love to snack. So we have our chocolate hostess cupcake one. We have our little mini iced coffee one, which is like Maggie's favorite. We have a Jonas Brothers inspired "I'm a Sucker for You" lollipop sticker. We
So
have
cute.
a never released before carton sticker by You I Am Undone.
That one's my favorite. I love it so much.
I remember when Grace made this. It was like in
It's
December.
so good. I love
It was so long ago. She'd never put it out, and like our group chat was always like, "Oh my god, that's so pretty" when you showed it to us.
Yeah, this one is definitely my pride and joy. It
I'd
literally
love that. Like on a t-shirt, I think it would be
forever.
like perfect too.
You never know, we might.
I might just do that.
Go
And
for
then
it.
finally, a holographic "Come and Escape with Me" book stack. I have a couple of others, like I have a ramen bowl, I have hot Cheetos and snacks.
Yummy.
So you will be getting a bunch of little stickers in your pre-order pack. Also have a couple of Shatter Me bookmarks that I could throw in there, and maybe a little something else, but we'll see when the time comes. We'll definitely put all of that in for our pre-order incentives. And yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of Grace wanted to get rid of her stock, and we have been thinking about this pins. We have so many pins planned. We literally will come up with ideas and text each other. We have some pin sets that are really fun and really exciting to put out. And these kind of pin sets, kind of to give you an idea, it's going to be like you can either buy the set or you can buy a specific one geared towards you, kind of thing. Kind of like this one where we should we release the character names? I don't know. You'll find out on Saturday. You'll find out tomorrow after this
Yeah.
airs. But
Milk it out.
and then on Monday, I will put the pre-order link down in this description. I will also pre-order links will go everywhere. We'll probably post on our social media and stuff. It's going to be great. But yes, so we do have a shop now. I'm excited. It's kind of surreal because we thought of this idea so long ago, and now it's here.
Finally happening.
Yeah.
I know. It's so insane. And our listeners are probably like, yeah, sure. When it happens, we'll believe it when it happens. But I'm telling you now, it's happening.
It
It's
is happening.
It's finally here. We're really excited. We're designing packaging and stuff, and it's kind of fun because I'm a business student, so I can really finally use my degree, and like I'm doing spreadsheets and analysis and CVP analysis and cost of goods sold analysis and stuff, and it's just really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when y'all get your packages, don't be throwing away the packaging because I worked really hard on designing the package.
We literally were sitting
Yes,
right
we'll
before filming this
frame
podcast
it.
trying to do packaging stuff.
Oh my
Our
gosh, that's
keeping
honestly
paper
like
and cards.
that's the best part of like literally getting the stuff. It's like the opening, the packaging, the details. I love
Yeah.
it.
It's
It's almost like I don't want to open it. I just want to preserve it forever. I'll
Yeah.
frame it.
lovely.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be open. It's just a pretty box right there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
We're really
Really.
excited for how it's going to turn out, and we're going to leave the pre-order open for like a set amount of time, and then the shop will be closed, and
Mhm.
then we'll start getting packaging done and getting it shipped out as fast as we can when it
Yeah.
comes to pre-ordering and stuff. So
And this is our first round of pens, so this will definitely like kickstart us doing a lot of other things. So the further down the line that we go, we're definitely going to start reaching out to all of our friends and listeners for, little PR packages and little things for you guys to see what else we have coming. Because, like we said, enamel pins are like the first stop. We're
Right.
planning on doing everything. So if you help us out by pre-ordering this pen, you're just helping us pave the way for everything else we have coming.
yeah.
Oh, and last thing, these two enamel pins, we're releasing the pen now, right? And in a little bit time, maybe like a few weeks later, we're going to release an art print with both characters combined into one art piece.
Yeah.
So you
So
will see it
yeah.
cohesive piece, even though you don't have both pins. So you can pick whichever pin you want, and then later on you can get the
Yeah.
print with both pieces.
And the art print, there's a difference. The pins are like a line art style, because that's just how the pins are. And the art print is going to be more detailed. There's going to be more colors, and it's just I'm really excited.
Man,
I'm
'cause
excited for you guys.
Eamon's been there literally. She's been so into this project. I mean, she was practically in the piece. It
I
was
know, it was like
I was in the
almost like she just
piece.
hooked her claws in and just
Yeah.
yanked herself into this piece.
It's almost like I was just like, grabbing that character
Both.
and claiming them for myself.
Oh my.
You guys are welcome, by the way.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah. Oh, if you're following us on Instagram, keep an eye out for maybe like a little sneak peek into Eamon's edition of
Yeah.
our.
Eamon's edition is going to be pretty interesting, guys. So stay tuned to see what it looks like.
Personally, it's my favorite. Personally, I really like it. I feel like it adds a bit more pizzazz, a bit more, I don't know, oomph to the whole thing. But that's just me. I don't know about you guys. So.
But that's kind of like our really big announcement is we are opening our shop, and it will be live on Monday, July. I'm looking at the calendar, so let me
What are we on the
do this
20?
real quick. Monday, July 26th is when it will be
26th.
live.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's kind of surreal because I'm finally using my business degree.
Yeah.
So
Look at you.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm not using any of my degrees, but
Graphic
That's
design.
I didn't finish my graphic design.
You still went through school.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna boost you up, girl. I'm your main hype woman.
You know what we're using? We're using YouTube Academy.
YouTube Academy.
And TikTok Academy.
YouTube, what is it? YouTube University.
YouTube University.
Yeah, that's what we're
That's where I got
using.
my
We're
certificate.
experts.
And TikTok
Okay.
Community College. Yeah.
And TikTok Community College. Yep.
TikTok University.
Okay, so I think now is the perfect time to get into
Now.
Neon Gods by
Yes.
Katie Roberts. So I don't know about you guys, but I was seeing it on TikTok. I didn't see it when it blew up. I saw it a little bit beforehand, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'll try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I appreciate that it is like a modern retelling of Hades and Persephone. Full spoilers.
True.
Anybody, this is full spoilers up ahead. The fact that they're not gods, I found really interesting. I know Grace didn't particularly like that as much, but I found it so interesting that yes, they are elected, and it's this idea that like they die and stuff. But the fact that like it's a title, not a person. It's a
Right.
title that is passed down from like Hades to Hades' son, and they continue to take the title. I found that so interesting as a modern version of it.
Yeah, like this book was I also did not expect it to be like that. Like I thought there would be like a fantasy element to it. And I was surprised when it said modern day retelling of Hades and Persephone, it meant modern day. It meant like it's in a contemporary setting and everything. Um and it's like heavy on like the politics side too, which was such an like fun storyline to read. And obviously the romance in itself too. I haven't read like anything like this before. I've read like Hades and Persephone retellings before, not like the one that everybody knows of, the
A Touch of Darkness. Yeah, that's
I
more
haven't
of a
read that one.
fantasy one. That is definitely
Yeah,
a fantasy.
and I was expecting it to be sort of like that.
Mhm.
But it's not, and it's something different. And personally, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I guess because it was when I think of Hades and Persephone, like, you know, what they're Greek gods and goddesses, and so like
Yeah,
I felt like having their names right next to them it was really hard for me to get used to them not having their power, though throughout the whole book their essence was very much like of their power, like
true.
Well, 'cause
Hades is very like that dark demeaning, and he has that presence
Yeah,
about him which just like, oh my gosh. And then Persephone has like this lighter, and she interacts with people, and everyone she talks with it, she brings life into it, which is what her abilities do, flip side of her other abilities as well.
right.
And so it was very interesting to me to see that. I gotta say something though. Um, I could not see them as human. I straight up saw them as characters from Lore of Olympus.
Yeah,
I saw
I
them blue skin, pink skin, purple for Zeus, Hera, the corpses of Hera in gold, and Demeter in that like, yeah, I saw them in those colors with like regular faces, but in their
yeah.
that I saw Lore of Olympus has taken over my view of Hades and Persephone, that's what I see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I saw them as like regular people, but I literally did not know that it was in a contemporary setting, and I was waiting for like power to be shown, like magic to be shown. I'm like, where is it? When is it gonna come? And it's not like that. And
Well, there was
it's
still
like,
some magical elements to it when when
Yeah.
they cross the bridge. There's
yeah,
still that barrier where there is still some magic in the book, but it's not magic, if you know what I
You know
mean.
what if you know
maybe it's more like of um because like there's the treaties and stuff
Yeah.
that like separate like the lower city versus the um higher city, whatever
Yeah.
it's called,
Upper City?
upper city. Yeah.
it,
So is it like spells or something?
I don't know.
you know what it feels like? It feels like kind of those shows with supernatural things or whatever, and they have that one episode where everybody is like thrown into a dimension or a dream like state where everything looks
Yeah,
normal, but there's still something there.
I
You know?
guess it's a bit sci-fi then, you know what I mean, if it's like
Yeah.
dimensions, because like they live in Olympus.
Yeah, because
And
they're not in the mortal realm.
yeah, so like the fact that there is realms means that that's obviously not nonfiction.
Well, realms are they had cities, like they could travel as soon as they left
Yeah,
the city, but it was really hard to leave the board. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to break down this like
Well,
there's
we can't.
something
I think we just need more detail. Maybe we'll get that.
It's a
maybe.
series. It's the Dark Olympus series. She just got renewed for the 5th book of the
Mhm.
Yeah.
series. So I'm so excited. I sent y'all both it on TikTok. Oh, also,
Yes, I'm
Eamonn,
so
that entire
excited.
time you were blocked. I didn't realize that it wasn't sending you, so I just kept sending
No,
you
literally,
TikTok.
TikTok is just me and TikTok's relationship right now. It's not tight. Like TikTok hates anything that has to do with anything remotely spicy or sexual, I guess.
Also,
Um,
the TikTok that you posted today wasn't that at all like I guess it was the word kill.
Yeah, like I try to censor like certain words that I know would probably flag the video. And sometimes like I have noticed like even the words that you do censor, like TikTok also has those words censored too. Like no matter if you use like different characters to replace other letters and stuff like that, like TikTok knows what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean right now like the video's still on and everything, but yeah, it's just I don't know, like I'm kind of scared because I've been banned like almost 3 times now, and I think by the next time it's like my last strike or whatever. I'm not
I
sure,
told you
but
need to
I'm
make
just
a
gonna.
backup account.
I'm scared. I
Well,
don't want to
do
do
it.
that. I don't want to do that. Like I mean, I probably would if it, but like I know other people that have had their accounts banned and they've gotten it back. And also I got this notification the other day that like TikTok was going through this like maintenance thing, so maybe that helps because I know it at that time, particularly when my stuff was getting banned and like I was getting banned, my videos were getting removed. It wasn't just me. It was like a
Yeah.
good
It
portion
was
of like
a
the
lot of big
romance side of
creators.
TikTok.
It was big creators
Yeah.
getting banned. It was big creators' videos getting taken down. I was like, I'm a
Yeah.
small
So
account. I
maybe
can
it's like
just
a TikTok thing. It's a
yeah.
TikTok thing.
probably.
Yeah. Not me,
Congrats
because
on
I've
300K.
done stuff like this before. Oh, thank you so much.
Forgot to say that at
What
the
an
beginning.
honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought I'd come here. Like, it's been such a long journey. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm so funny. I'm cute. So yeah.
So, so this book, back to Neon Gods.
Not to toot my own horn.
So when we first see this, the fact that I thought it was interesting that the Hera position wasn't filled, and the fact that they were like,
Yeah.
Persephone, you're gonna fill that position. Her mom was like, you're gonna fill it, and you're gonna be my little puppet. And I
Yeah.
love politics, and I loved this about the book, is we see more of Demeter.
Yeah.
Demeter.
Demeter. We
Demeter.
see
I
more
say
of Demeter
Demeter.
in this book because in A Touch of Darkness, we see her, but she's more of that like background force that you think about. And like in
Right.
Lore of Olympus, she's there, but she's not there. But then in this book, she's heavily present, and you see her interacting with her daughters and stuff. And I appreciated that Katie did that. Also, if Katie is listening, hi Katie.
Hi, big
Hi.
fan. Hello.
But I just think that the way she made, like, that's why I really liked this, is the fact that was the tension in this book, is that they wanted Persephone to be Hera. And that was so
Yeah.
interesting that it's like Zeus wanted her and Hades was like, no, you don't get her.
No, literally. I loved that he was such an alpha without being an alpha hole. Like he wasn't an asshole in the slightest. He wanted to protect her, keep her safe because like Persephone put her like mental health, physical health, like it would be her last priority, not even a priority in general.
Yeah.
And I just reading about that and like just him just taking care of her. It's just it was so good. I love that.
It was also the bi representation in this book. The
No,
fact that they
literally, I was
both
like,
swing both ways. I'm just like, I feel
that's
seen.
one thing that I really like beyond appreciated from this book was the representation of like the virus representation and how like the different skin colors and everything too. Going into this, I did not know much about it. I read the ARC version. I don't even have like the final copy and everything. I wasn't expecting much out of it, and I was so surprised to see like these characters, even like a plus size character and stuff, and the next book will have a plus size character as like the female love interest, and I literally cannot wait for that book. I'm like slowly anticipating it. All these representations, all these from all different minority groups, and no one is like has like stereotypes thrown at them or anything like that. It's not harmful representation in my opinion. And I wasn't expecting that from this book. I thought this was just going to be a smut book that I can just read and turn my brain off and just get through, but I was just like, wow, this is so good. I need more authors like this.
I also think it's Sourcebooks, the publisher as well. They have so many diverse titles. Like
They are a great publishing team.
like
They
amazing.
are so
I
good.
read boyfriend material from them. Like that was a good book. They have so many, like they have a lot of LGBTQ plus titles, and I love that.
They do.
Especially the
Yeah.
sticker that they sent us. in the art print that we got sent by them, they sent like a representation sticker, and I was like,
Oh,
yes.
the art print for yes, for Hades and Persephone.
Yeah,
Yes,
they sent a little sticker
love
in
that
it.
art print.
Did you even get it?
Yeah. No, I didn't get one myself. But that's
Having-
fine. Like I think out of all like the PR stuff, I get a lot of things from them, and I have that sticker. It's so good. I'll print it out or something. I didn't get one myself, which is fine. It's just like Stephanie is the one that works for like the marketing management team. And I remember she contacted me and she's like, I saw that you loved this, like, Hades and Persephone art piece, and we have a couple left over if you want to do a giveaway for like 5
Did I
to 10
send that to
people.
you? Did I send that to you on Instagram?
The art piece?
Yeah, the art piece. Was I the one who sent it? Oh no, I sent the
at
Wrath
first,
one. I sent the
Yeah.
Wrath one. That's
yes.
the one I sent.
At first, I saw the art piece of Hades and Persephone on Kitty Roberts' TikTok.
Mhm.
And then from there, I found it through the artist's page. And then I used it in a video. And then I did a giveaway for them. And yeah, I just really appreciate source books. And fun fact, they're also based in my hometown. And that's so cool. Like,
We should have slid up to them. We should have like went up to their headquarters.
Like Stephanie has literally said like we should meet up one day, and I'm like, yeah, I literally live like not even 15 minutes away from you, so like let's do it. Yeah.
Gosh, man, Eamonn always has the best connects.
Eamon
Oh
has
my
the hookup.
God. Yeah.
So
Whatever. Yeah.
back to the story.
Yes.
Sorry, Calvin. I'm
nuts.
sorry, Calvin. If you're listening, I'm sorry. We have been going off topic. I just had to say hi to
Love-
Calvin one time.
Calvin's
Love
always saying that
Calvin.
we go off talk. We are a very bookish podcast, and yet we don't talk about books.
Oh my God. Don't worry, it's me too. Like, sorry. Anyways, focus.
Okay, so one thing that I was kind of scared about when reading this book is I was unsure how true to mythology it would go to. Seeing as like Persephone does end up getting assaulted by Zeus, and seeing as like she was going to be seeing as that it was lining up for her to be his wife. I was so scared that he would take her, and I was just like, I don't know if I can read.
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah.
Like on
You're right.
and especially towards like skipping all the way to the end really quickly when she's just like, oh yeah, I'll give myself over to you, or blah blah blah. I'm just like, if I have to read her literally letting this man take hold of her, and then Hades finds out, I'm gonna lose my cool, because I was like, no, because it's something to me about like books in general, not just like retellings or anything, but it's romance books in general. If like once the main couple gets together and then they split up, or like circumstances pull them apart, whether they break up, whether they're just taken away from each other, whatever, and someone else has sexual relationships with one of them, I'm like, how do you go back from that? How do you? I don't know how I feel.
That would have been uncomfortable to read. It would have been so uncomfortable. Like, because I was almost like, because at that point there wasn't even much left of the book. It's like, what could happen within these last like 50 to 30 pages, you know what I mean? So, and like when she was like ready to give herself over, because like she was ready to be like, I don't want chaos, I'll just give myself over, see what happens, try to escape whatever the heck it is. And she was in the car with Hermes and the other guy that I forgot his name.
And Dionysus,
yeah.
I thought it was Dionysus.
Dionysus. We'll say
Dionysus.
And we thought like Hermes was kind of like on her side, but Hermes is like the messenger here. One thing I really liked, I loved Hermes' character. I think she was so funny.
Loved her.
I hope we get her story. We better get her story.
I love that it was.
I hope so too. I didn't expect that at first.
Yeah.
And when they called like Hermes her, I was just like, Oh, hello. Really liked her. I thought that was so funny how like she sneaks into Hermes's like house and territory like all the time, and he has like top-notch security, but she still finds herself like
Literally.
inside and through the windows and
Which
everything.
is
He's like, how did
which
she get
is
in
like
here?
it's like a really cool twist on like her ability as like a
Yeah, that's
god.
where I thought like the magic element came in. Like, is she like teleporting? Like,
Is
what is
she
she doing?
actually teleporting, or is she, and like, it's never really confirmed or denied how she does it. Just her
Yeah.
sneaking in. I imagine her almost like Inej kind of creeping and
Yeah, because like there
around.
is this one point when she's like crawling like through the window, and Persephone sees her crawling through the window. I'm like, oh, is that what she does? She just crawls through windows.
So in that scene, have y'all seen like the Conjuring when like the woman like crawls on the floor? Well, there's like always those like creeping crawling people on
Like
like
when they
floors
crawl
and
like a
stuff.
spider.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
imagined her crawling in. That's how I imagined it when I first read it. I was
Oh
just like,
no.
this is because if you imagine it, it's like Persephone just like sees her crawling in. I'm like, that's how I imagined
She's
it.
literally like a ghost. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
you actually imagined her crawling. Me, when I saw like, oh, like her crawling through the window, I'm thinking the window's like pretty big. It's one of those
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
double open.
Like she's stepping into the room. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah,
it's
no.
Not her like
I imagine
crawling.
her like crawling over. I don't know
Like a
why. It's
spider.
a lapse in my reading. I was just like, this is so creepy.
No, yeah. Sometimes when I like I'll read a scene from a book and I'll imagine it and suddenly they're like dancing or something. Like it's just weird.
and and that's the worst too, like completely going off topic from the book, but that's so bad too, because like your mind will set the stage, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be doing something, like let's say they're sitting on the couch talking and having a conversation, and then all of a sudden you hear, oh, he makes a right down the hall. They were walking this entire time? What? They weren't
No,
sitting?
that's so true though. It's like sometimes I like skip over like well not skip over but like my brain doesn't
Yeah.
register like world building and like movement and like the setting. I just think about the characters, and their like verbal like dialogue and everything like that. And then it's like you said, they turn a corner or they enter a room or they do this, do that. I'm like, I thought we were like in a different city or something. Like you telling me we're inside? I thought we were outside. Like
And I think that I think some authors, it's like it's that balance. Like, how much do you tell your reader? Like, how much do you want to tell them, and how much do you allow them to imagine themselves?
Yeah.
And that's what
right. I like imagining myself. I
Yeah.
like to like build the world myself. That's
and then
why I'm
turn
not too-
left.
No, literally. Yeah, like honestly, it's fine for me if you just give me crumbs of like details when it comes to like setting and stuff like that and movement. Like it's fine because as long as I can still like insert myself in the main character or whatever, like we're
Literally.
good. Yeah.
And it's like the worst feeling too, of like them. It's also a balance of them describing things too late. Like
True. True.
have
True.
to
True.
do it pretty early on, not like immediately, but like when you, like, if you're meeting somebody for the first time, what do you notice first about them, right? Like you're going up to them, yeah, you're talking to them, but like even in like those first moments of you meeting somebody, you're looking at their physical features, you're looking at
Right. You're like checking them out. Like
that. So as soon as I'm meeting somebody else, I need you to give me hair color, kind of height,
yeah.
what you want to jump off the page for this character in
No,
that
literally.
first
Yeah.
interaction. If I don't get
Yeah.
it, then I'm taking control. I am taking the director's chair, the cone. We're seeing action, and the way it's going, that's the way it's going to be, because I'm not switching it up later on.
That is so true because like I'll be like waiting for like the descriptions, like at least give me hair color and eye color, at least give me the bare minimum. And sometimes we'll get them in the middle of the book, like not even in the beginning. I feel like when we are introduced to a character, we need those physical descriptions, like
Right then.
because I need to like be like, okay, now which celebrity should I imagine as this character? How should I insert myself into this character? Because like I'll be doing that. I'll be creating a whole movie in my head. I'll imagine like celebrities like as characters. I imagined Bucky Barnes as
That's what I was about to
Hades.
say.
Okay, because I thought
Because like the shoulder length hair.
Sebastian
Yeah.
Stan.
Yeah. I
think
imagine
we had this
like,
conversation.
Bucky Barnes. As soon
Man.
as it was like dark shoulder length hair, I was like Bucky Barnes. And
Okay.
sometimes I'll like look up fan art before reading a book because I know sometimes descriptions will come out like later in the book, so I can go into it knowing how the characters look like. Sometimes I do spoil myself for the book, and that's a risk I'm willing to take.
So I have a confession. I
Right.
didn't know he had shoulder length hair until I saw the fan art. I totally glossed over the fact that he had shoulder length hair the entire book, and then I saw the fan art for Hades, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he has long hair."
Yeah, like I isn't it like in most Hades and Persephone?
Yeah, it's most
he has
Hades
like
and
longer
Persephone.
hair.
He has longer hair.
Yeah, and
In
Persephone
like A
has
Touch of
like blonde
Darkness, he
hair.
does.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember Persephone's like physical description came like way later in the book than what?
Grace, have you not read A Touch of Darkness yet?
It's okay. I haven't read it either.
Hey. Listen, when the hype around Touch of Darkness, Rhapsodic, or whatever, however you say that one, that was like coming off the edge of ACOTAR phase, right? And
True.
I was not ready to jump into smutty romances yet. I needed to dip my toes into fantasy.
It is
And
fantasy.
not spicy fantasy.
It's not that
And
spicy.
I don't know. It was
Is
pushed.
it like on the same level as like the ACOTAR and everything?
Yeah.
It was pushed as spicy.
Okay, it
And
kind of is spicy, but like it's not all spicy.
Yeah,
Well,
like I read the first book for
now-
Rhapsodic, and that wasn't as spicy as people said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even finish the second book. I DNF'd.
I don't plan to. I have the entire series, and I don't plan.
I
to
know. I
finish
saw it on your shelf.
Yeah. I might give them away, but I'm not interested.
Give them to me. I like reading trashy stuff.
Okay, fine. I'll
It's
like
not
when
even
I come to
trashy. It's
California.
just kind of. It just feels icky when you read it. You're like,
It's
ugh.
kind of disturbing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you tell me this is a minor, and you're
Yeah.
like 500 years old.
Yeah.
Let me have it. I'll fix it for you. I'll give you a short story for it. Anyways,
Okay.
this is what I wanted to say, going back a little bit about the description. So when I'm thinking of a character, I literally cannot see their face.
Is it like a blur?
Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
I will only see the part of them that is doing something.
Right.
Other than that, if it's like I can see them, but it's like that vision where like
You don't focus on their face.
If I try,
I can get like an outline, but that's it.
But no, like I can see his suit, I can see like his skin color, which
Right.
every guy I read about, he's got to have a little brown in him. It's like an automatic thing.
No, that's me. Like they can't be like super pale. They
I'm
gotta have a
sorry.
little metal in it. Yeah.
Even if they're white, you can't be white.
They can't be like Twilight. Like
They
Edward
can't be like
Cullen.
me. Look at me right now. Like I'm literally like
no, but even
white.
you have a color. Okay.
Right.
You
True.
have a little color. It's a little dab, but it's in there, okay?
You got some. Yeah.
I match my walls, guys. I match my walls.
No, you look pink, okay? You look pink.
So cute.
Don't try to make yourself
I can make
because you're not white. But look,
I can make myself like more tan.
Like if I look at them and I'm like seeing the scene happen, and then all of a sudden I tried to like to actually look at his face. Like let's say I want to do like a sketch of him, right?
Right.
And looking at his face, I literally cannot see it. It's like darkness. It's like it's like Percy Jackson Mist, where like if you try to look at it, something about it makes you look away.
Right. Yeah.
You don't even see it. You don't want to look at it. I don't know what it is. Like I can see majority body parts or something like that, but anything super defining about them, I can't focus in on. Like characters with full body tattoos. If I try to zero in on the tattoos and define them, it just looks all black and blurry. I don't know what it is, and I think part of that is a great blessing to me, because like when it's adapted to a movie, it doesn't distort the picture I have in my head, because I never
True.
had a face for it. It's more of like the essence of the character, the feeling I get around that character that makes that character who they are. So
Right.
for example, if like let's do Twilight, since Twilight's all big right now on Netflix again. If when I was reading Twilight for the first time, I didn't see Edward's face. I got his feeling. I got like that coldness around him. I got that like that threatening vibe from him, and all of
Mhm.
these things that made up his personality, right? But
Mhm.
I never really saw his face clearly, nor his hair or anything like that. When I saw the movie, it did not distort the feeling that I had when I read Edward. But Robert Pattinson did not fulfill the embodiment of Edward's persona completely the way I saw that. So it was
Yeah.
that's the thing. If I feel like a character has great character casting for like the book character, like the Darkling, Ben Barnes, the essence of the Darkling he embodied, which was
You really
perfect,
did.
right?
Yeah.
And so like that's what saves me when I'm looking at, like, I can try to like picture a face, I can try to like cast like a celebrity for them, but I can't. Like for Persephone, don't know what she looks like in her face, but man,
Uh,
she has an amazing body.
yeah. Like I know for like the main character, if it's like a girl or something,
Mhm.
I'll like try to self-insert myself into them
Oh
and
yeah.
like change up how I look. I'm just weird like that. But like I get that, like, seeing like a blur or like a darkness or
Yeah.
not even a full face. Um for me, like I see that until I get a description of the character. Once I get a description, I'd be like, okay, which celebrity, which actor, which hot person have like that I know in my life that I can like, cast as them in my head. Then I see like, them. And I guess maybe that wouldn't be like that isn't like a blessing for me in case if like the book turns into a movie or a TV show and I'm like, wait, but I imagine that person as so
Yeah.
and so and it doesn't match. But like it's just I can't control it. It's just how I am.
No, like it's literally that, and then like as the same goes for like other characters that are introduced, or like
Yeah, like side characters, like they're blurred to me. Like if they're not important to the storyline or if their description hasn't been like said, like, definitively, then they're just like a blur. Like I can't,
yeah.
like I remember reading Off Campus in their first book, and like, the other characters that were going to get a book, like Tucker, freaking Logan and Dean, I didn't know how they looked like until I got their book, like until I
Yeah.
read from their POV.
Yeah. And then like that, like this is one thing about Neon Gods that I also loved about the side characters and the people around.
Yeah.
I loved that Katie like gave me their ethnicity. When
Yes, because that's what I was like so like almost shocked and like I'm like, wow, I really appreciate this author. It's like because sometimes you will not get that in like just like from other romance eroticas and stuff like that. It's like mostly focused on the two main characters.
Mhm.
And these other characters you can just imagine them however the heck you want. And yeah, that's the author's choice, but I absolutely love it when the author is like, yeah, I'm making this character black, this character plus size. Like it's candid, it's real, it's right there. It's like there's no it's not ambiguous.
And I
Yeah.
think that also has to deal with the fact that this is a series and the fact
Yeah.
that a lot of these side characters will have their own story. So that's, I think,
Right.
why it's important that she starts out in this first book. You know what everybody looks like already. So it's not new when you go to their book and you're like, oh, this is what they were. I thought they looked like this. It's kind of that like it, she does really good with that.
I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and it's not just like the gods and goddesses and those who have like names, but I'm talking about also like when they were going through like the farmers market and all of that. Like I saw a Hispanic woman, I saw like,
Yes, no, literally, I saw their age, I saw everything.
and it was
Yeah.
like I didn't need anything else. Like I didn't need to know their hair color, how they had their clothes, nothing like that. She gave me ethnicity, she gave me age, she gave me like that
Literally,
basic
that's like the first thing
love.
you get, and I appreciate that so much.
Literally,
Authors need to do more of that, because like even some of these side characters, you know, we're not gonna get like a story from the farmer's market guy, you know that,
yeah,
but still, it's like now that we know how they look like in their description, their ethnicity, their race, and whatnot, it's like you don't have to be ambiguous about how you imagine them, you know?
right, right.
Yeah,
And it was like so refreshing because like
it
one,
really
you
was.
have you have to also like give it to like the type of world that it is. It is an urban um retelling of this story.
True.
And even though it is an urban like setting, you don't know specifically where it is. Like it could be in
Right.
America, it could be like in Europe, it could be wherever this city is. But the fact that this city has so many different types of people, and
Right.
it's just that's just how they are. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's so realistic. It's like it's diverse in itself, and the world is diverse. And even though this
yeah,
is like it's fiction and like, you know, it's almost like sci-fi, like not really sure about that. It's just
yeah,
it's still like, you know,
yeah,
the world is diverse. Why not make your characters diverse too, you know?
exactly. And it was done so simple and so
Yeah, it's just
ba-
like this is the bare minimum, and like I appreciate it so much because it is the bare minimum, and you know authors need to be doing it in all their books, and the fact that it was done so flawlessly and nothing was like, you know, stereotyped, nothing was like, in my opinion, like there wasn't a, like misrepresentation and stuff, you know. It's just the bare minimum. Like they are confident characters, and they just so happen to be plus size, they just so happen to be black and stuff. It's not like they're meant for like this certain role in
oh,
society or
for sure,
something.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then on that too, it's like it's not done in a way that it feels like this is taken away from the main storyline. And the fact
True.
we are like so like even though this is the bare minimum, but the fact that we have to like point that out and applaud that and be like,
Yeah,
wow,
because
it
it is the bare
happened.
minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, because it should be like, oh, this is how every book it should be. But the fact that we bring that up and it's so surprisingly beautiful to us, it's so sad
Yeah.
because it doesn't happen often.
That is so true though. That's what made it so surprising to me because I didn't expect any of that. Like not at all.
Yeah,
And when it happened, I'm just like, where has this author been my entire life? Like, hello? You're the only like white author I trust at this point.
literally. And it's not even like a thing of like, you know, nobody else can do it like this or
Yeah,
whatever.
anybody can do it, you know? It's
Anybody can do it.
easy.
And it was done in such a way that it was like, we're not saying like this is the most amazing a piece of diverse community, but it was done in a way that shows anybody can do it in
True. Anyone can
any
do it.
world. You can do it.
Yeah,
And
it's that simple. It really is. It's not this like, you know, big like, you know, hot take or hot topic or something like that. It's so simple. It
it's
really is.
simple. Like a little while ago I saw like this a TikTok thing of like this guy was like trying, when your point of view when you're on a first date and he's just like, oh yeah, I just came out of like the gender neutral bathroom, or like, you know, saying little things like that to see how the date would react to these topics, right?
Yeah.
And then a guy stitched it and he's just like, okay, like, yes, you can do that for your date to see like where they stand on these certain topics or things like that, or like on the police and blah, 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 and gay rights or whatever, right? All of
Right.
these things, dropping hints like that, yeah, you could do that. But then another way to do it is to scroll through someone's For You page on TikTok. And he explained it this way. He's just like, because the For You page that you have curated for yourself is the way you want to see the world. So
No, literally. Yeah.
if you see like people of color, if you see like LGBTQ plus creators, if you see a mental health awareness and all of these things, if you see all these videos popping through your For You page, that's how that person wants to see the world. But if you're seeing just like basic white people dancing and like
Yeah,
nothing
like
happening,
personally, I don't get any of that on my For You page because that's not like what I'm into. And even when I see stitches of like videos from other people's For You page or something like that, like the conservative side of TikTok, like the Trump supporting side of TikTok, it's almost surreal. I'm like, are you telling me these videos exist on this very like, um app? It's like very Gen Z, very millennial, like it's very like, I don't know, like not that, like it's very
Yeah.
liberal,
Yeah.
um
And to think of it like that, that's how you would create a book. Like if you are a reader and depending on how you fill the space in with your subconscious, that's how you would see the world, right?
that's
Like
so true.
if you have somebody who is like um a straight white person reading a book and they own like the filling in of the subconscious of the people in the space, like they're reading a book and it's a ballroom, but everyone in, like if you could zap into their mind and see who they filled in that space, you could
Right.
see how they want the world to look like. Whereas
Exactly.
if I'm reading a book and I'm filling the space, everyone's colored, everyone's
No,
like
it's so
this.
true though.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like that's what I want to see myself represented. I want to see my people represented in other skin colors and other minorities, and the list goes on and on and on.
yeah.
And I can't really stop myself from doing that. I can't really like be like, you know what? Yeah, Eurocentric features for everyone. Everybody's gonna be white. I can't really do that myself.
I I can't do that. Even if they
Yeah.
tell me that the main character is like white, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm just like,
no,
I
they're
don't
not.
think so. I
No,
don't think
no, they're not.
so.
So like when it comes to like ballrooms and stuff, I kind of
Yeah.
just fill them in with like shadow characters. Like I don't even see like I kind of like those crowd videos of like it's just like shadow people. That's how I fill it in my mind. But I kind of wanted to go
Yeah.
back to that idea of like the For You page. I went to the bathroom real quick while you were all talking about it. When the guys say they love plus size women and then you go into their following and they're following all skinny white models
But
and it's like
yes.
caught in 4K. I just wanted to add that is also so similar when it's like a guy says they want something, but it's obvious they don't
They
when
don't.
you
It's
go to see what they are
performative.
looking for. It's very performative. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
performative, and it sucks. And like you can see that come through in anything. You can see that come in through their work, through their personality, through what they write, through what they read. Like you see it, and like, just because they're
No, literally. Yeah.
we have these like months that are dedicated to whatever cause that we're that we're talking about or whatever, and people get mad because we're not pushing LGBTQ plus books during Pride Month, or we're not pushing black authors and black main character driven books during Black History Month, or we're not doing um Hispanic or Latinx characters and books during Hispanic Heritage Month or Indigenous
Right.
Peoples Month. Like, no, we don't need to do that just for you. Like, the people who are giving you those recs during those
Yeah.
specifically, and you don't see it anywhere else, that's who you be questioning. Don't be questioning the people who read it and do it.
Especially if you are part of that like minority group. Like do not be doing that. That is just so offensive.
Yeah. So like during like Pride Month and stuff, I haven't like announced my sexuality on my page and stuff. I just kind of keep
Mhm.
that private and stuff. And looking at me, people will assume I'm straight. People will
Yeah,
assume I'm
same.
straight. And but like it just felt like during Pride Month I saw a lot of straight creators or straight like they're straight like making all of these LGBTQ plus rec like videos and stuff and they're getting hundreds of thousands of likes and stuff and I felt icky. I felt icky like
I understand
it
that.
felt so
Yeah.
performative because I am a member and I'm just like even I'm a member and I'm not making these videos because yes, it was so saturated. It was so saturated with content where I was just like, yes, I love my they, thems, and the gays, but sis, you don't need to post about it every single day when you're not a part of the community. I'm sorry, I'm not going to trust you, little white girl. I'm going to go
Yeah.
to Kevin and look at what he's recommending.
Yeah, like literally the people that are part of this community and
Yeah.
such. Like they don't owe you like catered content and stuff, but they still give it to you no matter what.
Yeah.
And it is almost like when a person that's not part of that minority community giving you these recommendation stuff and they get, their videos go viral, it's almost like they're taking away. It's just like
Yeah.
That's not
I
you're not, that's not your people. Like,
it gets
I
under
mean,
my skin.
yeah.
It bugs me. Like, we've come a long way in the year that book talk has been like booming or whatever. Like, and I swear when Hispanic Heritage Month came through,
Mm-hmm.
like no shade to like all the other months,
Oh
but
no.
when
It's almost like like, does TikTok just censor these people during like their month,
it
you
was
know?
like
Like,
it was such a like it was
because
so
I hadn't seen it either.
it was
Like, and
I didn't
I am
even
not like on the straight white side of book talk. I'm not on that side.
I, to be honest, I literally had not seen until that month. I had not seen another Hispanic person, another Hispanic creator until I did that one post where like I was like, oh, like I want to see my other Latinx like creators, like comment below, let me see you, share this or whatever.
Right.
And then I started seeing so many other people, and I was just like, why have I not come across you? Like, where are you in this algorithm? Why am I not being able to see you? And no shade to like, like the other Black creators and other POC creators and the other LGBTQ plus
Yeah.
creators, but it's like Hispanics are there too, but you hardly see us.
It's so
You
true though.
hardly ever see us. Like you'll see more Black creators and other POC South Asian creators as
Yeah.
well. But you don't get any Central American creators. You don't get any American creators like in all of the Americas other than white creators. And that's
Right.
so sad to me
It is
because it's
sad.
like, damn.
Yeah, it's just like,
And it's
yeah.
interesting because I don't know. I think it's because Grace and I send a lot of TikToks to each other, but I get a lot of like Hispanic creators,
Oh yeah.
non-book talk creators. I get a lot of Hispanic videos. I don't know why.
Yes,
I always get commercials too, and I think it's because of Grace, because Grace and I are like best friends and we always text each other and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'll get like ads in Spanish, and I like understand what's happening, but I'm like, what? And like, because I took
yeah.
Spanish in high school, but like I'll see like Hispanic creators and I'll get Hispanic videos, but not book talk. And I thought that was interesting too when Grace
Not
highlighted that.
you guys, like Libro like TikTok is so big. So big. I follow some Spanish speaking creators and they're almost like at millions of followers. Like that side of book talk is huge, beyond huge. Like
Yeah.
I follow this one creator, her name's Tori. I think her full name's like
Mhm.
Victoria. She's almost like at 1 million followers. I don't understand all her videos obviously because I don't speak
Yeah.
What's her
Spanish
username?
fluently. I know her first name, like her name is Tori, but like she goes by Tori.
Yeah.
She is so cute, first of all. I love her videos. She does a lot of like the talking about the books videos.
Mhm.
She's always talking in her videos, and I think she's like maybe 1 or 2 years younger than me and Maggie. I'm not sure, but I follow her. I follow some other people too, and they are lovely people. They have like a
Yes.
pretty account. And I look at their videos, and their videos have so many views and so many likes, and they have tons and tons of followers. Like I
Yeah.
thought some of the biggest followers on Book Talk were like Easy Cat and stuff like that, but these people are like almost close to millions of followers. Like
Yeah.
this is a whole community
Yep.
that like the Western side, like America, is missing out on, and
Oh,
they're
big time.
wonderful people.
Big time.
Yeah.
Because like the Spanish speaking book talk creators, they're freaking huge.
They
And
are
I
huge.
never
Yeah.
ever come across them until like somehow one video pops up, and then I find that person, and then I go through like um their follower list to see like if I can interact with more, because they're obviously Spanish speaking, so whoever they are following are other Spanish speaking
Yeah.
creators, right? And then I'll go through them and I'll find them, and I'm like, I'm freaking Hispanic. How, and I did not see you. How is my own community? How am I not even part of my own community?
No, literally. I mean, like, then again, like, you know, these people are like, they're living internationally from, or so maybe it's like that. Because like I don't actually see them on my For You page, I see them on my following page.
Yeah.
And that's probably because, you know, my setting is all like, you know, for English and everything. But still, like, occasionally I'll go down their page and just like watch their videos, even though I'll understand maybe like 5 or 6 words. It's just, I really do love that side of the community. And I even follow this French book talker, and I don't speak French. But she, like, we communicate through each other through DMs and stuff, and luckily she speaks English and I can understand her. I wish I spoke French so I could understand her myself, but I love her videos too. They're very intriguing. The way she talks so eloquently. She's a very nice person. It's just, it's so crazy to me how there's book talk is not just in America. It's everywhere.
It's literally so much bigger. And like the people who are like very small-minded and like, you know, like trying to go back to the book, you know, who end up taking a book and then trying to tear it apart because it doesn't have this or it doesn't have that. It's like so annoying because it's just like, it doesn't have that for you,
literally.
But for us,
let's not speak for everyone here. And like I hate like critiques like that, because they're not even critiques, it's criticism. Like, if you want to critique a book, let's give constructive criticism and like critique what's already there. Like, obviously not everything is going to be there. Not every book is going to give you 100%, you know, full on, like not everybody's going to be represented like the way that they want to, even though if their like group is represented in a book, it's not going to be for everyone. So like, don't speak about like a community that's not, you're not part of that community, but don't speak on stuff that's like not there. You know what I mean?
And that's
let's critique what's there.
And it literally happens after a book goes like viral. It'll be like,
I hate
as soon as you finish reading that book and you want to start talking about it, all of the videos shitting on that book pop up, and it's like,
literally, like I hate that so much. And I think it's because a lot of people set their standards and expectations so high. Like, don't let book talk or anything else influence you when you read a book. Like you're not gonna get this. Like, with People We Meet on Vacation, I really did enjoy that book, and it was really hyped up on Book Talk. And when I read it, I fully enjoyed it. Give it 4.5. Was there a part of that I was like, oh, I was expecting this, I was expecting that? Yeah, but like that, like, I'm not gonna really critique that on the book. I'm gonna critique what's given to me. You know what I mean? And I hate that a lot when a book gets really popular, especially if it's like objectively a good book, like it has a good rating and everything on Goodreads, and it's popular. It's like on certain lists like New York Times, American, USA, whatever the heck. And everybody's like, oh yeah, I didn't really meet to my expectations, or blah blah blah. I'm just like, don't let book talk influence you, because like when people talk about the books that they like, they're gonna give you all the stuff that they like what they enjoyed, not particularly what they didn't enjoy. Like, for me personally, when I talk about books on my page, I'm going to talk about everything that I liked within the book. With every book that I have read, of course there's going to be elements in which that I didn't like. Am I going to really talk about those in the videos that I make? No, because I don't want to discourage anyone from reading the book. Will I talk about it maybe in like a Goodreads review? Probably. But like I want to, like, you know, build a community. I want to have conversations about these books, so I'm going to encourage people to read the book and talk about all the things I loved. And when people will even come to me and be like, yeah, I expected this, I expected that, like or like it didn't live up to my expectations because of how you presented it. I'm like, I'm going to talk about what I liked, and don't let my influence or anybody else's influence like deter you from reading a book, or like trying to nitpick something that's not even there. It's just, let's stop doing that.
Because like you know, like lately on my page I've been talking a lot about the Maid series by Danielle Laurie. Like I'll keep talking about that for forever, right? And the last book was really kind of hard for me to get through because it was a little Stockholm syndrome. No, it was heavy Stockholm syndrome.
That's a little hard for me to read personally.
Yeah, and I had not read a book that went that into it, but the thing is
Really?
that
Yeah.
they both of the characters address that this is could happen, and
Right.
they like it's a lighthearted joke between them, but it's also something serious that in their own inner monologues they do think about that, and they do try to process it, and they do try to analyze, am I really feeling this, or am I just feeling this because of close proximity or because of all of these other things? So it handled Stockholm syndrome in a different way than any other book had, where they just like went along with it and that's it, right? Where this one, it was very hard for me to get through the book, and to the point where I absolutely hated Ronan so much. I did not think I could continue reading the book. And
Did you end up finishing it?
I ended up finishing it, and
Okay.
lo and behold, I freaking fell in love with him, with the way that things happened in the book. And like I have those like videos where I'll have like a quote on top and be like, something that man said is just scrumptious, right? And people will comment and it's just like, I'm having a hard time getting through this book. And I'll tell them straight up, I'm telling you right now, it's so hard. I'm not gonna front with you and be like, oh, it's totally worth it. No, I'm gonna address like, yes, this part is hard to get through.
Yeah.
And me being on the side of like wanting to not continue reading, to completely falling in love with it, I can tell you that it gets there. It's different when that type of experience is going through it, and you can tell somebody that because you were on the side of like hating
That's
it
true.
to
That's
then
true.
loving it. Whereas
Yeah.
another book where you absolutely loved it, and you know that there were some things that were like, I don't know about these, I don't know, but I loved it. It's kind of harder to kind of say that to someone else because they're just like, oh, I hated the book. I didn't like this and that. And then you can like keep the conversation going like, yeah, I know, I understand that part, but you didn't like this or you didn't like that. It's kind of harder to
Yeah.
bridge that gap. But yeah,
True.
with Darkest
Yeah.
Temptation, that's all I've been doing.
I completely understand that because like when I talk about a book and I talk about all the things I love with it, and I like when I say I don't want to talk about the things I didn't love with it, I'm not talking about like trigger warnings because like stuff like that could be like a trigger. So
Yeah.
that you like the fact that you like addressed it and stuff like that, and like you're like it gets better. Like I ended up falling in love with the guy because Stockholm syndrome could be like a trigger to someone, and that's not something you should be like critiquing on. That's like
Yeah.
try to bring awareness to it as much as you can. Do what you have to encourage people to look it up themselves because a lot of times if you include trigger warnings in your videos they get flagged. So or like try to leave in the comments. Like sometimes like I'm doing better in leaving trigger warnings in the comment section, and sometimes like comments will be censored too, and like people can't see them, but then I could still like be like, okay, 18 plus, or like look up trigger warnings and stuff like that. It's like it's very hard to like kind of go through, or like through TikTok specifically. But yeah, like stuff like that's not what you like, man, I hated this because of blah 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 or whatever. It's just like a given, like triggers, like
Yeah.
it's not you, like you can't really like be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
when with Neon Gods, like I think the reason like I like the book. I'm not gonna sit here and be like I
Yeah.
hated it. Like no, I liked it. Did it live up to the expectation that Book Talk gave me? Not really, because
Yeah.
I felt like I needed a little bit more, and I wish the book was a little bit longer to develop those. I'm a big relationship development person. Any book
Right.
that I read, I need to have those conversations where they work out and they develop their relationship to actually have a good relationship. I can't just see a couple get together and then that's it. Like that
No, I get you.
that's
Yeah, because
gratifying.
I didn't even know that until I got towards the end of the book, and then it like hit me like, oh, this is going to be a standalone. I'm not going to get more of Persephone and Hades, them being in a relationship, unless it's something from like this side, in the other books. Like could tell like by the end, because I knew this was going to be a series, but I didn't know until the end that it was going to be like each book is going to be a standalone within itself with two different like love interests. Like the next one's going to be Psyche and Eros. It's going to be their story, and it was just like, yeah, I do like that because I love reading about relationships and like it being extended and it being like milked out and everything. I love reading about it. And now thinking about that, like I almost forgot that, or I didn't expect that it would be like happily ever after by the end of the book,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But,
mean, even though
it is.
yeah, even though we know Hades, like, dude, he was a freaking obsessed with Persephone.
Yeah, he's
so
trying to
early
deny
on.
it, but like
He was
yeah.
obsessed with her. He was straight up simping for her. And it wasn't like that inner monologue, like, oh gosh, she's so freaking amazing. No, I can't feel that. Gosh, what's happening to me? It wasn't like that.
Yes.
It was like straight up, he knew that he was attracted to her. He knew that she would be his downfall in everything that he built in his own, like, cold-hearted way. And it reminds me of this like one TikTok. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play the sound for you guys.
I loved that part about like Hades' inner monologue when he was like he knew that she was gonna like be the downfall, and then I think he was having this like self conversation within himself. He's like, it's gonna be hard letting her go, and like coming like because that's like inevitable, like he has to let her go by the time their like deal expires by the end of the season or whatever the heck it was. And it's going to be hard for him, but he's just going to have to get over it like he has with his past trauma and stuff like that, because he is a guy with like his father was killed and like trauma after trauma. His parents were killed by Zeus and everything. So yeah, I mean like as a reader we could predict that it's going to be happily ever after with him and Persephone, but still like reading about the fact that he thinks it won't be was like, oh, like stop it.
Yeah, I really liked Hades' point of view in this book, but
I really
kind of
did too.
going off of what Grace was saying about like the hype of book talk really hyped this up as a spicy book. And if you think about it, it's not too spicy in the sense of the actual like detail in the spice. The spice comes from Hades' exhibitionist tendencies and the fact
True.
that they were doing stuff in front of a crowd. That's what made it really spicy, where it's like it wasn't the
Yeah.
description, it was like the setting of the place where everything was happening made it
Yeah.
really spicy, and it was
'Cause-
really hot.
Yeah, I really liked reading that too, because that's like this is the first of its kind that I read. Like what's that certain term of like having sex in public? What's it called?
Exhibitionist.
Exhibitionist. Yes, I haven't read a story like that before, and this is my first. This is the first of its kind that I had read, so I was super intrigued.
Oh.
Like, was it super detailed? No, but like I really enjoyed it. I'm like, I want to read more of this.
I think it could have been more detailed because she has her Desperate Measures and like her like whole
Yeah.
Wicked Villain series where those are very graphic detailed. If you think about it, this is with a publisher, so I think she probably had to rein it in more. If you think about it, like we know like traditionally published books don't have, except Sarah Moss with Akasif, where it was like really graphic. But that graphic was like weirdly graphic, where it was like, I didn't need to know this detail. But like she did really well with it still being very sensual and very like, oh.
Also, can we just talk about Hades being the consent king? Like,
I wrote that in my thing. I'm gonna pull up my Goodreads real quick. I literally wrote
should that be the title of this podcast?
Consent
Like,
King. Yes.
Consent
Hades
King.
the consent.
Yeah,
Hades.
but it's not like a title like with like way back last year, like when Akatar was like at the height, like everybody's like, oh, Reese is consent king, or like not consent king, he was like feminist icon.
Yeah, like
it's not like one of those. It's not one of those.
No, it's like it's true. Like
literally
24% of the way through the book, I marked Hades as a consent king. Like,
and it was literally consistent. It wasn't like one time and then that's it. It was
right.
Like
it was every single time. He's like,
every
"Are you okay?"
time.
Like what's your safe word, everything.
And then
I think that is so attractive,
So
because,
beyond
like,
attractive.
it was even in his inner monologue, and like it was to the point where like Persephone was just like, dude, you know I'm gonna say yes. And he's like,
Yeah, he's like, I
no,
still like, I
I
want to
need to hear
know.
it. Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
think it
and it's
also it's really hot when they say yes. Like when you ask them and they're like yes, and you're like, so it kind of it's an ego boost too if you think about it. It's like,
no,
oh,
literally, it
like
is
she'll
so
say
hot.
yes to anything, and like hearing it, you're like, and saying yes is also really hot.
Yes, because like
Like, yes.
Persephone is that type of person that put her like mental and physical health, like, you know, it wasn't like a priority for herself,
Back
and like
burner for her.
Hades had to make it a priority and take care of her and everything. And the fact that, you know, he's a consent king, like, and it's not, because like a lot of the times with like, you know, I guess dark romances, old, like, you know, more adult smuttier romances, like consent happens, but it happens once, like it's like, and then it's like, okay, then they're railing each other, you know, chapter after chapter after chapter. But I feel like when consent is, you know, asked and given, um like before every single scene, that is so beyond hot. Like,
Because
wha-
it needs to be realistic, and that's how
yeah, and
it should
it's
be.
also like as we said before with like the representation, it's the bare minimum. It's
Bare
the bare
minimum.
minimum. Yeah.
And yet
So
we're fangirling
we're like
over it because
hyping
it
it up.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Literally, because
Exactly.
like, and the fact that it happens before every single interaction, before every little step, it's so
Yes.
important, because like she could have changed her mind. She could have been like, no, I
Yeah.
don't want to do it anymore.
Literally.
And like those books who like, that's why, yes, you want consent, but then you also want it consistently, because like even in a relationship, like
Yeah.
you can end up not wanting to.
Yeah.
Right. And the last thing you want to do is feel like you're in like a forceful relationship. That's the last thing you want.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
that idea that because you're in a relationship, guy or girl gets to do whatever they want to their partner. and
Yeah, no,
that's
it's not
true.
like, you know, it's this one-time deal thing that we've nailed down. It's like this conversation has to happen before everything, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Grace said, anything could change at any moment at the time. Like, you know, and like also like playing mental health into it and everything like that. You gotta know where your partner is mentally. You gotta know.
And it sucks for like those partners who are like very giving to their significant others, like
Hmm.
who want to do everything to please their partner. It's very hard on them because they don't know that they can set a boundary. They don't know that they can be like,
Yeah.
no. And it's something that like people have to like really come to terms with. Like
You're right.
like
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to like to say,
Hmm.
I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like
Yeah.
doing it. And it's hard, and it was hard for me, because I'm the type of person who wants to do everything for that other person. Like I'm
Right.
not just talking in like physical acts, but like I'll order you lunch. I'll make sure that your food is there. I'll go to the morning to get you coffee. I'll fill up your gas tank. I'll do all of these things to make sure that you are set in every aspect of your world. And it's a burden that I guess that I put on myself for my partner,
Right.
you know. And it's something that people have to learn how to say, no, I don't want to do that anymore,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Because you don't have to go above and beyond. Like the bare minimum in a relationship is loyalty and honesty. And yeah, like, you know, giving, you know, your partner surprises and gifts and blah, blah, blah. It's like fun and you want to please them. But like, it is not an obligation on
Yeah.
yourself. Your relationship should not feel like a job.
When it feels like a chore,
Yeah.
that's when you know something needs to
Yeah.
change. Because like
And especially if it's not equal, you know, like
Yeah.
if you're giving and you're not getting, like,
Yeah.
Literally, because and that's the thing about Hades and Persephone. It's like they are both shitty with taking care of their own self, because they're so worried about everyone else. Hades is worried about everybody in the lower city, making sure that everything is good and taken care of, that he doesn't really care about his own emotional well-being, not his
Right.
physical, his own emotional well-being. And
True.
Persephone, on the other hand, doesn't take care of her own physical and mental well-being, which Hades is like, no, stand up, take care of yourself. You need to be prepared and take care of yourself. And
Exactly.
she, on the other hand, is telling him, it's okay to care. It's okay to like live. It's okay to love. And they both do this thing where like, yes, they're giving the other aspects to each other, but they're also
Yeah.
telling each other, set up your own boundaries.
Yeah, like
And
it's
they're both
okay to be
keeping it,
selfish, like, you
yes,
know,
they are
like
both
here and
keeping
there.
themselves on point with that.
Literally. I especially love it when it's like when like the guy is like that and he's like he's not taking care of himself emotionally, but he has all these like materialistic things around him. Like Hades is rich and everything.
Mhm.
And just like reading about that was just so like it was fun, it was enjoyable. I really appreciate it because like it just like proves the fact that, you know, materialistic things and monetary like value and blah blah blah, it doesn't matter. It's all about, you know, the inside and how
Yeah.
you feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that companionship that he did not want at all. And
Yeah.
it came in and literally mowed him over. Okay, so I found the sound. I'm gonna play this sound.
Okay, I'm
It's
ready.
from another podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on TikTok. If I find the name of the podcast, I'll make sure to like link them
I
below.
think, are they two girls?
No, it's two guys. I think it's
Okay.
called Modern Wisdom.
Is it the guys who made the sound, the Nebraska sound? The fuck Nebraska.
No,
Like
it's
wherever
from
it's
Modern
go.
Wisdom podcast.
Okay.
Okay, so
falling in love should be the most inconvenient thing in the fucking world. Like, it should ruin your day. Like, people who, when they fall in love, like, I know it's in love because every time I thought about them, I smiled and I was happy. And I'm like, no, 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 that's you in love with the idea of love. It's not about the individual. You're in love with the idea of being in love, and you love the feeling of being in love. When you're actually in love, like, I think it's just, you know, you just go, oh, for fuck's sake. I was having so much fun. I was living my best life, and then this person came along, and they make me laugh, and I want to spend my time with them. I like just being alone, and now every time I'm in a situation that I'm enjoying, my brain goes, I wish this person was here with me. I want to share this with you. Fuck, god damn, I was having so much fun. I had so much freedom, and I still have that, but just now, I can't stop. Yeah, every time I've been in love, I've just gone, you bitch, how dare you make me? I love you so much, and that's so inconvenient for me.
and
Inconvenient. Oh my
it's
gosh.
like literally like that like, yeah, you know, people, like how he said, people think that falling in love is like all pretty and perfect, and like your life is it
Like
starts
a
when
movie.
that person comes
Yeah.
in. That's not how it goes. No.
Right.
Love, when love really comes in, it takes over every part of you. And yeah, you can section it and block it off from affecting other pieces of your life, but it comes in a way where you no longer want to be alone doing these things. Like, you're comfortable being alone, but you no longer want to be alone. You don't want to see the world without that person. You
Right.
no longer
It
want
takes
to
over you without
it.
you even realizing. It just
And like,
happens.
that's literally how Hades was. He's like, I was good. I had a plan. I was protecting my people. And then here this little thing comes, literally stumbling into my arms. And she fucking ruined me. He says that too. He's like, this woman is literally the death of me. And
Literally.
that's how it should be. This man had everything he wanted except for like revenge on his parents, which was his main goal. But he had everything a person could want. And yet when this
True.
woman stumbled into his arms, his whole world was flipped upside down.
That's very true. And like when like, you know, obviously Hades and Persephone, they make a deal in which they can like take over Zeus. So like, you know, so Persephone doesn't have to marry Zeus, and then Hades can take revenge on Zeus and everything like that. And this entire time, Persephone is kind of like looking at herself as like, I'm causing so much destruction because Demeter stopped like the trade and the food and everything that happened, or like the deals with the lower city. And she thought like, I have to escape, like I'm such a burden on his shoulder. But he's like, babe, I got a plan. Like we knew like something like this would happen eventually, but like we have treaties and relationships with like what's goddess of blood or of water,
Poseidon.
yes, literally Poseidon. Like I totally forgot. I was like blood, water, yes, him. And like he came in clutch and everything. And I love that because like, yes, like Grace said, like he had everything, and here this little person comes in and it's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
So I want to know if Katie Roberts does a Zeus one, if she does a Zeus book, because
For the new Zeus, yeah.
yeah, I want to see the new Zeus's book because
Yeah,
like
is he like evil or something? Because he's
well,
also young.
They explained it the way that Perseus was very arrogant
Perseus, yeah,
and similar to his dad, but not as ruthless. So
right.
I want to
feel
see
like,
if he has a book. I'm gonna check on Goodreads. real
I
quick.
feel like if he does have a book, it'll be a heavy enemies to lovers,
Oh,
and be a thing of, like,
yes.
Hera's position has been left open for too long. You need to get a wife, and it doesn't matter if it's a romance or whatever. We're gonna, like, the rest of the 13 will set up an arranged marriage for Hera to be filled in, and I swear it's gonna be an enemies to lovers, and
It's
then
gonna
we'll
be
have.
epic, yeah.
But then at the same time, if that happens, that means that people will.
Oh, it is the third book is Zeus. The third
Okay.
book is Zeus.
So then
The third one?
Wicked Beauty is what it's called. Do you want me to read the description?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
No, it's literally what you said, Grace. It's literally what you
Okay,
said.
let me finish saying it and then read.
Okay,
I'm so excited.
Okay, I swear, it like the arranged marriage, blah 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 blah, and I swear that we'll start seeing Zeus and like straight up start simping for him or whatever, and you'll start seeing like Zeus has like a good side, but then I don't know how people are gonna deal with that because Zeus
has always been.
We all know Zeus is shitty. We all know
he's always been ruthless, arrogant, and asshole.
Right.
And
so it's
just
gonna be it's gonna be kind of weird to see how Katie.
Well, maybe he's not.
Maybe
he's not.
He's not like that. That is the thing. Because he's getting a book.
Yeah, it's nice to have a villain. It could be his like villain origin story kind of thing where it's like he's still not a good guy, but they still fell in love. Like, because villains have their own love stories as well. I think that's
he could also
a key
surprise us because he is already kind of like the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a book in which it's surprise.
Well, his dad was.
Yeah.
His dad
like
was.
he has his persona.
Oh, was he doing that just for his dad? Was he doing that just to please his dad?
Was he pulling an heiress, Sarah? Because
literally, like, is this a phase? I think so.
I think so, but like, I would like to see that. I mean, like, yeah.
You want me to read the description?
I know all the bad things about Zeus, but then I've always like been like, damn, why? You could have been so great had you not been such a shitty person.
The character names? Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all ready?
I just hope that arc is beyond like I will fall in love.
I'm going to be refreshing that arc sign up team page consistently.
Oh, I meant like his redemption arc, but yeah, that too.
Oh, for sure. That too. Okay,
so you ready?
Read.
Yeah.
It's Lore Olympus meets Helen Hart. In the third installment of the sexy modern-day destruction of our favorite Greek myths. Ever since she was a small child, Helen Chaosis knew she'd marry for political gain instead of love. What did she expect? For Zeus to make her his prize in a competition to determine the next Ares, or for two of her former lovers to end up competing for her hand.
Wait, is this Helen of Troy?
Yes. It's a Helen of Troy. I'm looking at the one review. Helen of Troy / Sparta cries, "Are we really getting a modern retelling of this? I can't wait to see." It's basically a modern retelling of Helen of Troy.
Helen of Troy was absolutely gorgeous. So that's gonna be very interesting to see.
I'm so intrigued. I can't wait for that.
I know.
Yeah, because I thought like each book would be like Persephone's sisters, you know?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And which I thought was interesting to see that Psyche was Persephone's sister.
Right, yeah. And the next one is gonna be Psyche and Eros. Yeah. I can't wait for that. I forgot the other sisters' names, but yeah.
I'm excited. I really liked the names. I liked the world building. I thought it had me a little sprinkle of mafia vibes, which is what I'm on right now. And I just wish I got a little bit more of their relationship. But other than that, I'm fine. That's the only thing I was lacking, which is a big thing for me to feel emotionally invested, you know?
Yeah, but, like want the best for each character.
But I did like their arcs. I did like how they came together. I liked everything about it. I just wish I had that I just felt like that needed to be expanded a little more. Yeah. But I mean, you can't do that with the Hades Persephone story because their story is very short.
Yeah, and it's like you know what happens. Yeah,
and that's it. That's all we get, and that boom, bada bang, right?
Yeah, it's also like one of the most common retelling from Greek mythology. Like we know how it's going to go down. Yeah.
What was wrapping up? What was your star rating for it?
I give it 5 stars.
I give 5 stars too, because I read it so fast. Like I kind of forgot a lot of the book. But like
no, it's like me
it was just so good. And that's the type of person I am. I forget a lot of the books I read, but in the moment I enjoyed it so much. And I heard Electric Idol gets even better.
Oh yeah.
Like
my friend already read it.
I like when I did my review and everything for Goodreads, I just gave my raw opinion and everything. Like, you know, maybe down the road, like I'll think about it, like self-analyze it and like, is it really 5 stars? But for now, like I want to be happy. It's 5 stars.
My reviews are always in the moment. My reviews are always how it made me feel in that moment.
my raw emotions and everything. Because I want to remember how I felt, like, you know, after reading a book. And like, you know, even like reading and seeing other people's reviews and stuff sometimes give you more perspective and like, oh yeah, that I didn't really think about that, but now I get it. Like with a lot of my favorite books, like hearing from other people, I really appreciate that. It gives me a new point of view and perspective and everything. Do I end up hating a book that I like? No, but like now I can think about it more critically. Yeah.
I gave it a 3.75.
It's okay. I think Melissa gave it a 3 and
I gave it a 3.75 only because I came literally right before Neon Gods. I read People We Meet on Vacation, which the three of us know that is a very emotionally romantic and relationship driven book. It has a lot to do with like the personality and the dynamic between developing a relationship. And to come from such a high driven book that had all of that to a book that didn't really have it, it felt very lacking. So that's the only reason why I rated it 3.75. Going back and probably rereading it later on, I'll probably give it a 4 because it did have a lot of really enjoyable parts. So many Easter eggs that I just gobbled up and made like a whole damn omelet with them because I was obsessed. I mean, can we take a second to talk about Cerberus and the rest of the pups? Because I died when they got the pups.
No, I almost forgot about that. That was amazing.
And the fact that he like agreed to keep them when he was like no, and then he was like fine, and he agreed to keep them even after if she was gonna leave, he was going to keep them. I don't know if y'all read Lore of Olympus.
It's gonna be a piece of her I can keep.
Yeah, and it's like it's so cute because in Lore of Olympus, Hades has dogs as well, and Persephone loves them, and it's just so cute.
Oh, I love that.
And it's this thing, like literally when he kept talking about like her leaving and everything, I thought she was gonna leave, and then somehow
she did.
No, but I
literally
meant,
left him.
I meant the way that she thought that she would leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like after the season.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that something was gonna happen like that, right? And you know what song played in my head to embody him?
Yeah.
The one from Beauty and the Beast, the live remake, where Beast sings this song when he releases Belle, saying like, "Now I know she'll never leave me, even as
Yes.
she fades from you." Oh my gosh, that
Oh,
song
God.
touches my heart every time. Every time I hear that song, and like I'll belt it out in the car when I'm driving, I'll start crying.
Stop. Now I'll cry. I need to put that on my like playlist.
Oh my gosh, that song, the emotion, and because it's like a male singing it, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And I swear Hades would probably be singing that song down his hallways of his house had Persephone left that way.
No,
But
literally. He'd like open the windows and start
he'd
screaming into
open
the
up the
street.
windows and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
but really quick on the Cerberus thing, have you guys heard this thing about Cerberus's name? The dog?
No.
Okay.
Like, no.
Okay, so a possible origin name for Cerberus, the multi-headed dog in the Greek god Hades, is Proto-Indo-European word. I don't know how to say that in its original word, but it's spelled like Kerberos, meaning spotted. Hades might have literally named his dog Spot.
Spot.
Wait, that's actually so cute. Like, that's so cute.
And then it goes like, that Cerberus, three-headed dog of the underworld, is basically named Spot.
Oh, Spot.
Spot.
So the name Cerberus in its like translation means spotted. So now, since having heard that, every time I see Cerberus, I see a three-headed Dalmatian dog.
I love that.
I see like, what are those? That breed
Like
of
a
dog
Great Dane?
A Doberman? Oh, I
like
imagine
those
like a Doberman.
long, skinny leg, kind of like scary looking dogs. Yeah.
Doberman with the pointy ears.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge Doberman. Like that's how I see him for Kingdom of the Wicked for Wrath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You showed me that yesterday.
Oh my gosh, that was.
Have you pre-ordered Kingdom of the Cursed yet?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. I'm
Okay,
getting the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition.
Yes, I have.
Oh, I'm getting the.
I gotta say, I love Hades' characters.
Yes.
Like his
That
kind of character, yeah.
I mean, I absolutely love him because yeah, he's the king of the underworld, but like in every mythology story that he has,
he's like a really good guy.
he's not.
Yeah. He
a-
overcomes the stereotypes. Like
Yeah.
whatever stereotypes are thrown at him, he doesn't comply with them.
It's like, damn boy,
Yeah.
you need
Like,
a hug? I'm
Yeah,
here.
you got emotions, you got
It's
trauma.
every retelling of Hades and Persephone and Greek gods, everybody knows that Hades is like viewed as this like as the bad one, but he's the like nicest of the brothers.
He's the best
Zeus,
one. Yeah.
Zeus is like the worst brother, but he's viewed as
that.
the best one. And it's like,
Literally.
but like everybody knows Zeus is a fucking dick. Everybody.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
crazy to me that like Hades, no matter the font, is utterly obsessed with his wife. Obsessed with his wife.
Obsessed.
He will not
Obsessed.
look or touch another woman.
No,
except
literally.
his wife. That's all.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Even
I'm
if
not
like,
looking at
girls
one.
are like throwing themselves at him, he's not gonna like comply. He's gonna be like,
and it's literally that like the like TikTok trend of like, or like this like meme or whatever that
Yeah.
like a girl tries to throw herself at this guy and he's just like, yo, you do not want my girl to find out. Like I tried to warn you. And then here comes the girlfriend ready to throw hands and beat anybody's ass. Because Persephone, man.
literally, that reminds me of like this like meme or something that I saw. It's like if a guy throws him if a girl throws herself at a guy and a guy, it really like tells like how his character is. If he's like, no, I can't, I have a girlfriend, versus no, I have a girlfriend.
It's sorry, I have a girlfriend, or no, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, those are two different people. Like, which one is it gonna be?
Yeah, and like it's like a trend of like you texting that to your girlfriend. Which one would you rather prefer me to say? Or the girls texting the boyfriend saying, which one would you say? Sorry, I have a girlfriend, or no, I have a girlfriend. And the guys who straight up go like, why would I say sorry to a bitch? Or why would I say
Yeah,
sorry to a
literally.
boyfriend? It's just like, sir, do you have a TikTok, number one? You don't? Okay. You
Sir,
pass.
take this ring.
You passed? Yeah, literally. But yeah. So this has been a long episode.
Yeah,
Gone all over the place.
very
Some
true.
heavy hitter topics.
I was on my phone for a while. That's because I was scrolling through all of Eamonn, who she was following. I went through every single account that she was following to look for Tori. That's why I was
Oh,
like,
I
looking
can just
down.
send it to you. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I was
Yeah.
like looking for it that whole time that I was looking down.
Did
I
you
was
did you
literally-
find her?
No, I was scrolling through all of your following. I went through 522 accounts looking for her.
Oh god. Oh gosh.
That's
Tori,
why I
where
like
you at?
wasn't paying attention that
Okay.
whole time.
Her username is Victoria Come Libros. Okay, I'll send you one of her videos.
Yes.
She is so gorgeous. She is super cute. Like great personality all over. Yeah.
Hopefully my
Very
phone
nice
doesn't die
person.
beforehand.
She is like at 800 and almost 40K. She is a very popular creator on like the Libro side
wow.
of TikTok. Can't really see it.
Let me
but,
Girl,
yeah.
put your hand behind the phone.
Oh, okay.
There
On
you
your
go.
face.
That's her. It's like backwards, but yeah. I think I don't know how old she is.
Yeah,
but
send me her profile. But yeah,
I just sent you one of her first videos, but she's a very cool person.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that.
thank you, Eamonn, for coming on and talking with us.
Of course, of
We'd always love
course.
to have you on.
Always love being here.
Uh, we always have such a fun time. I swear, like we had like a whole mini podcast session right before we actually
No,
started
literally,
recording.
like once we start talking, we can't shut up. It's almost
We
a problem.
can't
It's like
shut
it's
I
a
literally was
problem.
like, guys, save this for the podcast. Guys, save this for the podcast. I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
we talked about
literally,
anything
like-
we were talking about before.
Literally, but it's fine.
Literally.
So excuse you. Sorry, that was my dog. She wants to get out even though she just came in. So really quickly, just a reminder, make sure you guys keep an eye out on our book podcast Instagram for news of our pins that we're going to be releasing for pre-sale on Monday. So you guys can get a sneak peek to them on Saturday. And then the pre-sale will go up on Monday, and we'll have that pre-sale open for about a week. So make sure you guys go in. We'll also have like pre-sale incentives for you guys and other things to do with that. Our shop will be opening up, so make sure you guys follow the shop Instagram and keep an eye out on Etsy for our shop to actually open up during your pre-sale orders. Keep an eye out and I'm forgetting one more thing. Am I forgetting something? No, I'm not. If you haven't read Twisted Love by Ana Huang, make sure that you go ahead and read that. We will be discussing that next week with the author.
Reading it tonight.
herself.
I'm so excited.
It's so good. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. So make sure you go ahead and download that so that way you can read it and tune in with us with the author herself during her whole writing process. And keep an eye out for her sequel to that series, which will come out at the end of July, which is Twisted Games. And that's it.
Yay.
All
Thank
right,
you guys. We'll see you later. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone.